Okay, getting back to where I was. Sometimes I wish I would have taken up fixing cameras for a living. Oh my. So anyway, I want to hit this real quick because I brought this up in the very beginning like 25 minutes ago, and then I totally dropped the ball on it and never followed through, which sometimes happens. This cool little LED I put up here really has no purpose to it, but I did it just for the sake of doing it. I mounted a yellow LED up there and then tied it into the thermal, so it tells you when the fan's running. You know, you don't need it, but it was just something to do. The fan runs so quiet you can't hear it run, so I guess maybe technically you do need it. I don't know. I'm just trying to remember where I was when the video dropped. I totally broke my whole stride that I had going. I think I finished up talking about the heat sink and putting the thermistor in there. So I'll go to the back of the board here and just start scanning up and down until stuff comes to mind. These resistors Sansui put in there, this must have been their prototype model. Lord only knows, I just don't know. When I opened this up and saw this, I thought, oh my, what have I bought? They cut some pads here and put in some resistors, I guess, to keep things from burning up. It almost looks like this was something that was originally designed for something else, and they said, hey, you know, we'll just make an A-40 out of it. I'm so sorry to say that, but really, truthfully, I think that's totally what happened. So these were Sansui's doing. These here were my doing because they're Allen Bradley's. They're not cheap. And I know exactly what they were for. Jumping over here, now back up. These little ESR chips here are mine. And there's 2 Jan diodes here and there. And I can tell you precisely what they are. I was going to do something on this A-40 that they did on the A-80, and that was make a constant current and a constant voltage source for the differential pair. And that started a whole process. So I did get the resistors in, I got the Zehners in. I think these were 20 volters. To hold that pair solid, because originally what Sansui had was just some dropping resistors coming off the power supply, and the voltage to the pair was not regulated. So any kind of fluctuations on your power supply come right back to your audio and go right onto your audio. So we got rid of pretty much all that problem by putting these Zehners here and adding these 4.7K resistors. But I didn't follow through with the rest of the process. I hate to say that, because I did so much on this, but I dropped the ball on the rest of it. And it's never good to say, well, this is what I was going to do, but didn't do it. Down here, on the transistor pair, I was going to tack 2 little vertical boards on here, 1 on each pair. And then I was going to mount my PNPs and some resistors, and it's hard to say what else I might have done to make a constant current source for these transistors. Since I didn't have enough room anywhere else, I would have had to put them on little boards. I didn't follow through. So, to the things that I did follow through with. Looking over here, our typical Panasonic PPS chips, none better, hands down. Need not say any more. This amp has incredibly clear treble to it. It sounds very, very nice. Considering the thing really doesn't have anything to it, it's basically a piece of wire with some gain attached to it. So, nothing added, nothing taken away. There's a very old vintage saying for you. So there's our tone caps. I know exactly. When I bought this, I went over it, I put it on the table, and I hit the power switch. And all of a sudden, all kinds of strange things started to happen. And the meters couldn't make up their mind what they wanted to do. The lights couldn't make up their mind what they wanted to do. Long story short, the power switch was no good, which is pretty typical. These things wear out, and you always have to take them apart and fix them, and once you fix them, they pretty much last forever. You never really need to buy a new power switch for these. So, took the power switch apart, fixed it, put it all back together. Everything was fine and great. No more strange gremlins. What Sansui didn't do was they didn't spend the extra couple cents to put a surge suppressor or a spike suppressor across the contacts on the switch. And when you don't have that, the switch contacts will weld together from the inductive flyback of the transformer. So oftentimes these are just simply a capacitor value. Sometimes they're a series resistor with a capacitor. So I put a surge suppressor across here from another unit so my power switch doesn't go bad on me again. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And this video is long. I am so sorry. I hope you've stuck with me on this. I hope that I've gained your interest or your attention, more to the point. I almost feel like I forgot something, and that's usually because I did. As I stated, I was extremely bored. So I had a whole roll of copper tape, and I needed something to do, and I had a little extra solder to burn. So I recoated the whole bottom of this old fiber board, which is just beautiful stuff. It brings back a lot of memories of the days of digging through the dumps looking for TVs to take flyback transformers out of. And fiberboard backs were always on the TVs. So, getting on track, I laid this down with copper. And I covered up the first 4 sets of vent holes because we really didn't need them anymore. And this shielding here is over the input stages of the amp and everything. So I thought, well, we'll just make that full shielding. Not like it matters. You'd never notice a difference. But I just did it because it seemed like it was the right thing to do. But what I didn't anticipate was having to cut out every single one of this 1,000 holes that I put into this thing. So I tried drill bits and knives and everything, and it was just a total disaster because all the tiny pieces of copper would just lay inside the fiberboard and stick. And I thought, oh my. I thought, when I power this thing up, sure enough, I'm going to take it out of the rack, move it around. Some of these pieces are going to fall down inside it, and I won't be aware of it, and I'm going to turn it on. The whole thing's going to smoke. So it took a lot of time to get them little tiny pieces of copper out of there, and actually I still see just about 1, 2, 3 of them, couple of them. So I might have to go over this one more time. But this was a closet amplifier that I just brought out today, so it's not pressing. I just thought maybe somebody would be interested in seeing this. You know, I don't know obviously what interests people, but I'm hoping somebody can appreciate this for what it is, because I mean, really, honestly, this was a crazy amount of work to do to such an economy amplifier. But I don't regret it. I don't regret any of it. I love showing it here, and I'm hoping you appreciated it. If there's anyone out there that's made any Frankenstein projects and can identify with this, please give me a thumbs up here. You know, I would appreciate it so much to hear any positive feedback on what you think about this whole little makeover. So until next time, have a good day, and thank you for watching.